Brilliance Audio presents The Wedding War by Liz Talley, performed by Donna Postel. If Tennyson, whatever her name is now, thinks I'm hosting a graduation party with her, she's lost her mind, Melanie said, folding her son's athletic socks into neat stacks on the matelassé spread covering the king-size bed. The abandoned iPad with the email from her daughter about the fabulous grad party had been tossed aside. Her husband poked his head out of the closet. She's gone back to O'Rourke. Besides, we're not doing the party, just attending. Melanie rolled her eyes. Come on, Mel. You know we have to play nice. It's for the kids. For Emma. I'm not sure anything is worth having to deal with Tennyson, Melanie huffed, looking for the mate to the Under Armour sock that had a hole in the heel. Dang dog. Poppy loved to steal the socks Noah left in the game room and chew on them. She'd asked her son not to leave his dirty socks on the floor, but Noah wasn't good at listening these days. Most everyone around her wasn't good at listening. And kids is the right word. That's exactly what they are. Emma actually said something about how it might make sense for her and Andrew to move in together while she was in med school to save money. Kit came out, adjusting his tie. She's not wrong. I don't have a problem with that. Them living together? Melanie looked at him like he'd agreed to a three-way with their 72-year-old oversexed next-door neighbor Coco Festervan. She knew Coco was probably up for it. There were rumors for good reason. Well, it makes sense financially, Kit said, wrapping the navy tie he always wore to make deals around his neck. Melanie dropped the T-shirt she was about to fold. You're seriously advocating our daughter live with a man before marriage? She knew she sounded like a Puritan, because times had changed and people lived together all the time. But how, in all that was holy, was she going to tell her mother that Emma was moving in with her boyfriend? That little nugget would go over like a dog turd in the punch bowl. Anne Fumio Brevard, Melanie's mother, was the president of her book club, the secretary of her Bible study, and the chairperson of the South Shreveport Garden Society Tour of the Greens, which meant she didn't cotton to loose morals, even if they saved a person money. There was a right way, and that was Anne's way. Hun, Emma's 22 years old, and about to be 23. She's a grown-up. Melanie shoved the basket away and set her hands on her hips. She's not a grown-up, not if we still pay her bills. A ball of aggravation curled tight in her gut. Kit always took their kid's side, leaving her to be the heavy-handed parent. Old Melanie, permanent stick in the mud. He gave the kids too much free rein to do what they thought was best. That was not parenting. That was taking the easy, and more popular, way out. Can we shelve this argument? You know I have a big day today. Meeting with Hal is always nerve-wracking. That old bastard doesn't let go of the purse strings easily. I need this to go through so I can retire before I'm dead. You know that's not true. You could retire today. He gave her an alligator grin. My kind of retirement will be expensive. Melanie sank onto the bed and tried to calm herself. Emma was set to graduate next week from the University of Arkansas, where she'd excelled in her studies, and if Snapchat was to be believed, keg stands, and now was heading back home to attend medical school at LSU in Shreveport. But while she was in Arkansas, Emma had managed to fall in love with the one person Melanie would have wanted her to steer clear of. Melanie hadn't realized that Tennyson's son, Andrew Abernathy, had gone to the University of Arkansas. She'd lost track of Tennyson's whereabouts years ago. Of course, U of A was Tennyson's father's alma mater, but the woman had been living on the East Coast, or so she'd heard. Anyway, it was surprising her son would eschew a plethora of blue-blooded schools to go to Arkansas. Even more surprising was that Emma had sat next to him in microbiology. 2 weeks later, the two sophomores met at Marley's for pizza. 2 weeks after that, Emma took Andrew to Chi Omega's spring semi-formal. And then, the two were as inseparable as Melly and Teeny had once been.